Making great progress. Great working with the president-elect. He is a man of action.
President-elect Donald Trump has already filled several key administration positions. We'll take a look at what positions he has already filled and which ones could be filled by the end of the weekend.
The weather we saw yesterday, it is certainly not going to be around for a little while. We'll time out some of the snow chances here coming up in your first 1-5 forecast.
Thank you, Dan. A deputy says he was attacked during a traffic stop, but surveillance video tells a different story. And Thanksgiving dinner is centered around the turkey on the table. We'll tell you about one turkey's mission that goes far beyond the dinner plate. It's time to wake up in Michigan. It is Saturday, November 19th.
Live and local with coverage you can count on. This is WNEM TV5 Wake Up.
A day that started warm and pleasant ended up turning wet and gusty after that major storm and brought damage that was reported all across mid-Michigan overnight. There have been numerous reports of trees down on local roads, power lines, and other trees knocked out, plus accidents all across Genesee County. You're seeing some video that I shot last night in downtown Flint. Things got very intense last night. Good morning, and thanks for tuning in to Weekend Wake Up. I'm Cameron Riddle, joined by meteorologist Dan Giroux here in the First 1-5 Weather Center. And, you know, after what we saw yesterday, some nice warm temperatures, completely the opposite today.
It could not be more night and day. It's unbelievable because now we're talking about winter a little bit. A little taste of it anyways. Take a look at what we've got going on across mid-Michigan. In the purple, the shaded purple, yes, those are winter weather advisories. Something to bear in mind for Clare and Roscommon counties. We're also dealing with wind advisories, generally in the thumb and we'll say north of US 10. So that's something to keep in mind. Now, our weather story today, that's going to be that winter weather advisory of, as I mentioned, that is for Clare and Roscommon counties. We're looking at only about 1 to 3 inches of snow, but it's going to be very blustery outside, and that is going to cause some limited visibility across mid-Michigan. Now, we're also dealing with a wind advisory, as I mentioned, generally in the thumb and north of US 10. Winds out of the west at 20 to 30 miles per hour. They will be gusting to 40 miles per hour, and that's going to be just about across most of mid-Michigan. So it is very breezy out there already. We're looking at winds out of the southwest at about 10 to 20 miles per hour. We're gusting over 20 miles per hour. And look at that. There's a gust in Bay City of 28 miles per hour. So it is very breezy. What does that mean if you're headed out to any football games? Well, not very good news. Noon kickoff in East Lansing against Ohio State. We're looking at temperatures in the mid-30s, winds out of the west 15 to 25 miles per hour. Also dealing with a little bit of snow, at least a few chances for that. And then if you're headed to Ann Arbor at 3:30, temperatures mid-30s once again. Probably not as good of a chance to see snow, but winds out of the west at 15 to 20 miles per hour. Now, coming up in the First 1-5 forecast, we are going to be keeping an eye on this snow. We'll time that out for you coming up in just a few minutes. Cameron?
All right, Dan, we'll just have to bundle up. President-elect Donald Trump left New York City for his golf country club in New Jersey. Mr. Trump will spend the weekend working to fill his cabinet. Some of the people already expected to meet with the president-elect on the New Jersey countryside include possible education secretary candidates and Mitt Romney. Despite being a vocal critic, the 2012 GOP nominee is expected to offer counsel. Vice President-elect Mike Pence is leading the transition team.
We've got a great number of men and women, great qualifications, come forward to serve this new administration.
In the last 24 hours, he's picked 3 conservative loyalties for key administration positions. Yesterday, the president-elect picked Alabama Senator Jeff Sessions for Attorney General and Congress Mike Pompeo of Kansas to head the CIA. Both must be confirmed by the incoming Republican-led Senate, and Democrats admit they likely won't have enough votes to block the nominees.
If Republicans stick together, the president will be able to essentially put anyone he wants in these positions.
The next batch of announcements could come as early as Monday. And don't forget to count on TV5 for the continuing coverage of Trump's transition to the White House, on air, online, and always at WNEM.com. Meanwhile, Muslims, Christians, Jews, Sikhs, and Buddhists gathered to denounce Donald Trump's talks about a possible Muslim registry. The gathering took place yesterday in D.C.'s oldest mosque. The president-elect's immigration advisor, Chris Kobach, says the registry would focus on visitors from so-called high-risk countries. Rabbis Jack Maline and Aster Letterman spoke at the interfaith gathering and denounced the whole registry as a notion that is un-American.
To say that the Supreme Court upheld the internment of Japanese does not make it right, does not make it moral.
The specifics of the policy, such as which countries would be considered high risk, are still unclear. Coming up in our next half hour, we'll take a look at the growing backlash over President-elect Donald Trump's security picks. A deputy has been fired for using excessive force during a traffic stop, and it was all caught on camera. There is no question in Sheriff Bob Gualtieri's mind that his deputy made up what happened on this night, March 25th, in Florida. The sheriff says Deputy Wayne Wagner told them this woman, Paige Taylor, shoved him. The sheriff slowed down the video, showing the moment she grabbed her license back. The sheriff says the deputy lied on the report, even charging the woman with battery on a law enforcement officer and resisting an officer with violence.
It was clear. I mean, it's clear to anybody watching it that there's no contact, that there was no push, there was no shove, there wasn't anything.
After months of investigating and because of this surveillance video, the sheriff says the truth was clear. All charges against Taylor have been dropped. It's a big day for football in Michigan. ESPN's College Game Day is in Kalamazoo for the Western Michigan game against the Buffalo Bulls. The Broncos are only one of two major teams that are undefeated in the college game across the country and are at number 21 in the playoff rankings. Alabama is the other undefeated team and is ranked number 1. ESPN's College Game Day begins at 9 a.m. and kickoff is at 3:30 at Waldo Stadium. And it's senior day in East Lansing. Some of these guys will be playing their final game in front of a Spartan Stadium crowd. Michigan State football is hoping to get some good fortune this afternoon. The Spartans are hosting Ohio State today at noon. Last year, the Spartans beat Ohio State. You can catch that game on ESPN. The Michigan Wolverines are 14-0 straight up and 8-6 against the spread in their last 14 games against the Indiana Hoosiers. The Wolverines will look to continue their dominance over Indiana. At 9-1, Michigan controls its own destiny in the college football playoff. Despite its loss to Iowa last week, the Wolverines will kick off against IU at home at 3:30. Women are coming by the thousands to the premium outlet malls in Birch Run. They're out for Dear Widows Weekend, a chance to snag some deals while their spouses are away hunting. But it's about more than just shopping.
Just to hang out and just have a good time. And if we buy things, fine.
It's just a fun weekend where we all get together, all the family is here.
And women in the market for more than something a little extra than that, a little extra spice. They came to the Dow Event Center for a production called Magic Men Live. It's a high-energy show featuring, quote, a line of stunning guys that leaves the audience in an exhilarated, euphoric state, and people couldn't wait to get in.
Two of them are husbands away, so we're here to play. I mean, he's having fun. He gets to look at all them deer and bucks. You know, he's in his glory. I gotta have my glory day once a year. It's only fair.
And it looks like the ladies had a lot of fun there last night. Well, Thanksgiving is just around the corner, and feasts are centered around the table, usually involve a turkey.
Yeah, but residents of one nursing and rehab center are getting their turkey in a little bit of a different way. It's your morning talker.
This is Priscilla. She is a therapy turkey and won't be ending up on anyone's dinner table.
After seeing just how calm Priscilla was around people, her owner realized the bird had a higher calling.
Priscilla's mission is to bring smiles and faces to brighten up the day at the Village Springs Nursing Center in Arkansas. And, you know, as nice as that turkey is, come Thursday, I don't want my turkey smiling back at me.
No, I'd have to agree with you on that one, and I will certainly be a lot happier if it's in my stomach.
I like my turkey deep fried, but that is a nice one.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Priscilla can stay. And it is 8:09 for TV5 News Time. And still to come this morning, U.S. Marshal killed in the line of duty. We'll tell you what led up to the shooting that took this life. And the Zika virus is no longer a global emergency. We'll tell you why health officials say that doesn't mean Zika may not be a problem. And lace up your running shoes and grab your antlers. Straight ahead, we'll tell you about a fun running that is happening this morning through downtown.